But now we forget all about politics. Instead, we're hunting rats in the sewers.
Vaughn, hurry it up or they'll find us.
I know. Just a little more. You keep an eye out for me up there, Kites. 1, 2, 3 more. All right, time to clean house.
So, yeah, it's time to actually use our real protagonist, question mark, this time. I say question mark because Vaughn is, well, Vaughn's a very contentious character within the fan base. But I'll get to that more later. I want to see if my opinion on him has at all changed since I played for the first time. You'll notice that he has less HP than Rex did, but I did a double attack with that dagger before. Some weapons have a chance of double attacking. And I think things like daggers have a higher chance of doing that. You can actually fight unarmed in this game too, if I remember right. And there are some skills that actually increase your unarmed combat power.
Wow, Vaughn, you got them all yourself? Guess I know who to call when something big comes along.
Hey, it's good practice for the desert. I'm ready for anything now. That's enough for today. You should get back to Miguel's place, Kites. Aren't you running errands for him?
Oops, totally forgot. You should come, Vaughn. He's busy today. Might have some work for you to do, too.
I've got other, work to do. Hey, lock this place up for me, will you? If Miguel finds out we've been down here, he'll tan our hides.
Kite sounds like he's voiced by an actual child, which is not common. Oh, this music. I remember this music so much. Yeah, you'll be hearing this song a lot. Rabanasta's gonna be kind of our hub for a while, and it's a pretty big place.
Huh? What'd you say?
Sir, you haven't paid, and I... What? Haven't paid? Second thought. Please, sir, take it. It's a gift.
Leave the poor sod be. We don't want trouble today. Your luck, peddler.
Oops, sorry.
Watch where you're going, churl. What? My pouch? It's gone. The boy! Get out the way. Oh.
So, I originally heard a lot of people comparing this game's plot to Star Wars, which is something that I really dispute, but that scene right there, that honestly felt so much like Aladdin. In fact, Varna's reminded me of Aladdin a ton right now. Something I didn't really think when I first played.
What? Hey, that's mine.
What do you mean, yours? You've been stealing again. What happens if they catch you? We need you to be there for us, Vaughn. You're no good to anyone if you're locked away in a dungeon.
Oh, what? Am I the leader now? We're orphans. The first thing you learn is you gotta watch out for yourself. Come on, Pinello. You know it as well as I do. Hey, you give that back. What do you think you're doing?
I thought that this money was the people of Dalmasca's property. The Imperials stole it from us, so it's only fair that we take it back. It's our duty as Dalmascans. Well, wasn't that what you said?
Yeah, but I never said anything about taking it back from me.
This is for that bread you took the other day. Just because I help Miguelo out every now and then, it doesn't mean that you get to eat for free too, you know.
I know that. You think I like living like this? One of these days, I'll fly an airship of my own. I'll be a sky pirate, free to go where I will.
Well, be careful. You'll never fly anything if you're rotting in a dungeon. Oh, Miguelo had some errands that need doing. He wanted you to drop by his place. It might be a good idea to lend a hand.
Okay then, yeah, we've already got it. Like, as you can see here, this is only one part of the city, and it's already pretty big and has a lot of shops. And shops are actually extremely important. Oh, I forgot to check out the party menu when I was with Rex. But yeah, shops are very important in... That's the wrong button. That's the party member. Are very important in FF12. Also, we have a full map of the whole world here, which, wow, this actually looks really good in HD, this map. Even better on the television I'm using. And we also have, like, dungeons and other locations. So the Graham Scythe Waterway is the place where we were killing the rats before. And there's Nalbina Fortress, even though we've never actually been there as Varn. We still have that place in our log. Also have a place called Lowtown here, which, yeah, we haven't actually been to yet, like, in terms of gameplay. Equip. Do we have anything in terms of equipment right now? Yeah, we don't really have much. Yeah, you can equip something in both something and an offhand. I think the offhand is usually reserved for a shield. I forget if you can dual wield it later on in this game or not. And yeah, obviously, you know, Imperial soldiers running around doing whatever they please. One guild, yeah, sure. So, yeah, this actually is a lot like the opening of Radiant Dawn, I just realized. Okay, so the council's coming today. That council's probably somebody very, very plot relevant. And this guy right here, I believe, is a Bunga. And more Imperial soldiers around here. So, yeah, okay, that leads to Lowtown. We don't need to go there just yet. That X is our location. I don't know if we can actually access any of the shops now or not, but, like, the shops are going to be pretty important later on. Yeah, right here, like, that looks like a, yeah, the armory. Yeah, we can't access the shops yet, but, like I said, the shops are pretty important. You don't really want to skimp out on money either.
Ah, Vaughn, I was waiting.
Penelo said you needed something?
Had me some packages supposed to be arriving by courier. In the morning, perhaps he ran into some trouble out in the desert. Now I've no foodstuffs to prepare for the banquet tonight.
So you want me to find this courier? Hey, no problem.
No problem. The desert teems with trouble. I'd be sending you to early grave, my boy. No, I've arranged for some replacement goods from Tomage over at the Sand Sea.
So you want me to go to the tavern to pick him up?
Actually, I asked Kites to do that. Wouldn't you know he's gone missing on me, too? I can't leave my shop, and I've Penelo on another chore at the moment, you see. What I want you to do is run over to the Sand Sea and fetch Kites back. What do you say?
Sounds wild.
It's easy work, and you'll thank me for it someday.
So I guess we have our next objective. We've got to head to the, yeah, he sent a kid to the tavern for some reason. But yeah, that shop with the scroll there, I think is like a Technic shop. Yeah, they spell it like magic and technics with K's because it's cool. I think that terminology was also used in FF Tactics, but, yeah, I, never really played those games. I like the glowing effect on these crystal lamps, though. Also, I like how you just, like, slowly pat the door and it opens.
There you are, Kites. Stop loafing around.
Look, Vaughn, look! This is it! This is why Miguelo's courier didn't get here on time.
A creature spotted in the Ester Sand. What is that thing?
Ah, Vaughn. Miguelo sent you too, did he? He's a busy man these days, that Miguelo, if I dare say so myself. I don't envy him the work, though. Not a bit. Quite the affair throwing a banquet to welcome the Imperials, eh?
Welcoming? We should be... whatever. Say, Tomage, what's this?
Nah, don't remind me. Got some nastiness out there in the Ester Sand what's stopping our couriers. And that means shortages all around. Thought I'd put up a bill, offer a reward to anyone who can knock that nasty back in its place.
Now that's work. Sounds 10 times better than running errands for Miguelo.
That's right. Vaughn, you should give it a shot.
And you should be getting back to Miguelo. Now, Kites. He was waiting for you.
Oh, right.
I mean, I can see some people finding Kites' voice annoying. He's not a particularly major character, at least not in this game. But, yeah, like, as far as child characters go, I've heard worse. Like, it's no Sonic Heroes Tales, I'll say that much. Even though it's a kind of similar voice. The Rogue Tomato. He's the one who gave Toy Story 3 its 1 negative review and got rid of its 100% Rotten Tomatoes rating. It must be destroyed. So yeah, this is our introduction to one of this game's really, really major mechanics. So yeah, you have to actually, this is a bit of realism here that some people would probably want to do without, but yeah, you have to go ahead and actually talk to the petitioner and say, hey there, I actually have accepted your quest, so you can pay me for it. I think the Clan Primer has a bunch of other stuff on it too. Like, this is kind of important. Okay, I believe that's an accessory. Oh, are we actually getting introduced to licenses now? Okay, yeah. Okay, licenses are a really, really huge part of this game's character development system. So, yeah, licenses. This is also the absolute biggest change in Zodiac Age compared to the original PS2 version. So something that I'm definitely going to have to talk at length about. Also, Writ of Transit, I believe, this lets us go out the East Gate, which is the only gate we have access to right now. I still love that. For random monster hunting, they do have some pretty epic presentation. So yeah, we need the Accessories 1 license to use it. And this right here is actually something very, very important, so I'm going to have to talk quite a bit about this. I know some things about how it works in Zodiac Age, but like not a ton, but I'll try and explain what I can of what I do know. So what this thing is saying, it actually is a bit more, it kind of actually goes into the differences between the PS4 version and the Switch and Xbox versions, but I'll explain that a little bit later, because first, I have to explain how licenses worked in the PS2 version of the game, because that's the version that I grew up with. Oh, okay, we're not healed, so I'll need to make sure to heal at some point. I think save crystals fully heal you, but anyway, so in this game, you need a license to use basically anything. Weapons, armor, magic. You also have to buy licenses for some of them, so that's why shops are really important. And so Vaughn here has 6 LP, and in this version, you have to choose a license board. Basically, they divide these into classes, and each class has its own general specialties in terms of what it's allowed to use. It says here in the clan hall, you can actually change boards. This is a feature that was added in the Switch and Xbox versions, but they passed it into the PS4 version. Originally, once you chose a class, it was permanent for the entire playthrough. But the PS2 version was very different. They had no classes in that version. So there, basically, you had this one big blob of a license board that had absolutely everything on it. And any character, you could basically choose anything you wanted to develop, and any character could be anything. It's kind of like playing Final Fantasy X on Expert Sphere Grid mode, except it was the only way to play the game. This was very controversial at the time. I heard a lot of reviews being very critical of it. They were saying things like every character basically was the same in the end, and they were all pretty much red mages. Characters do have slight differences in stats and slight differences in animations and charge time for various weapons, so there were differences, but in practice, a lot of characters played the same in that version. So the international version that only Japan got, as I said before, added the Zodiac job system, but in that version, you could only pick one class per character, and so you couldn't actually have all 12 of them. This version adds something to actually make things a little bit deeper, but we'll get to that quite a bit later in the game. So basically we have to choose a class for Vaan here, and lol, white mage. I mean, you could do that if you wanted to, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. So, what am I going to do in terms of this? Now, obviously, there are optimal classes for each character. I'm sure there are many videos online talking about what the best class for each character is. I am personally, I actually know nothing about these classes. I've never played Zodiac Age before, I've only played the PS2 version, but I'm personally going to choose the classes that best reflect how I specialize the characters in my first playthrough of the PS2 version. So from what I remember, I made Vaan more of a speedy thief type character, because that just felt like it fit with his personality. So I focus more on daggers, short swords, katanas, and the speed stat and technics, which is where the steel command is in. So let's see which of these best fits that. I want to say Shikari, weapons daggers, fight nimbly, that sounds quite decent. Bushi, I think, is kind of samurai. Yeah, they use katanas. I think sight unseen is actually kind of broken in some regards. Archer. Poach. Poach is actually kind of amusing. You can get a lot of good loot items out of that. Foebreaker. Yeah, this is more of a slow Mighty Glacier class. Not really what I want. I definitely want a time battle mage at some point, because they have haste, and haste in most Final Fantasy games is ridiculous, and this game is no exception. Reflect is also really good, so I'll definitely make somebody a time battle mage later. Monk is, yeah, the D&D style of monk, so unarmed combats. Knight is pretty much a slow tank. Red Battle Mage is, in Final Fantasy, red mages traditionally are both physical and magical are either hybrid physical magic attackers, or they use both black and white magic. Also maces. Maces are interesting in this game. Different weapons, I'll probably go into this later, but different weapons actually use different damage formulas. Maces are magical weapons in FF12. Machinist. Okay, I think this one's actually decent for Vaan as well, from what I've heard. Guns pierce enemies' physical defense, so they can be useful for that kind of thing. Ulan are, yeah, they're mostly I think they're kind of like Dragoons from earlier Final Fantasy games. And Revive. Okay, so really right now, I think it's either Shikari or Archer, I'm thinking. I think I'll go for Shikari right now. I think this name actually has African origins. Oh, I didn't choose the preview license board, but oh well. Well, I guess I am locked into this now. So yeah, this is how the license boards work. Everyone starts with a license to attack and use items, obviously. And so we can purchase license for daggers, light armor 1, accessories 1, which is what the game actually wants us to get. And as you unlock licenses, you unlock the licenses that are next to them. Oh, Libra, yeah, I probably want to save up for that. That's the scan ability, and that's kind of useful. Then accessories 2. So basically this just keeps going. I'm not really sure that's super necessary, although I could be wrong. I think they buff, I remember in the original, a lot of techniques were pretty useless. Actually, wait, that's not a technique, that's an argument. Arguments are passive buff abilities that you always have. But yeah, they buffed a lot of techniques in this version to be better. Many of them were really bad in the original game. So you might also notice these, licenses that are kind of floating out in the middle of nowhere. Oh, you get Protector and Shelga, that's not bad. Phoenix Lore. Yeah, you can get, improvements to various, items as well. Shades of Black, I think, is actually kind of good in this version, too. Oh, that's probably very useful. Oh, Red Spiral, that's a super move. We'll get to that. Again, we'll get to that later. Eager Blaze. We get some ninja swords here. Stamp. I've heard that's actually decent as well. Alright, okay, so any harmful status effects you have go to the enemy. There's a much more convenient way of inflicting status on enemies much later on. Big max HP increase. Guns, okay. Bone Crusher. Interesting. I think I remember that having a really bad hit rate or something. Magic Lore. Okay, so down here, there's Red Spiral. Oh yeah, it says Red Spiral as well because, basically you get those in order, and when you get one, the others change different things. 1,000 Needles, that can be useful sometimes, I think. The main one that I'd be looking for is Remedy Lore, because remedies, you actually have to build them up to healing all status in this game. So I just just looking through this a little bit. Oh, that thing right there. Nihopola. I don't even know how to pronounce that. That accessory is ridiculous, but I remember that from the original, but I'll obviously get a chance to talk about that much later on, because we're not going to get that early. It's a really, really cool item, though, that I kind of wish more RPGs would use things like that. It's very unique, I'll just say that much. So yeah, now that we have that license, we can go ahead and equip that accessory on ourselves. Slightly raises max HP, also gives us defense and magic resist. We have evade, magic evade, strength, magic power, vitality, speed. So I don't really know much about the character's stat build either, but from what I've heard, Vaan, despite being like the token kid of the party, Vaan actually has like some of the best stats of any character in the game. His strength is second only to the big physical bruiser of the party, and he has the highest magic about, I already know those things, I think. Yeah. He has the highest magic of any male party member as well, so I think he does well in a lot of classes. But again, like, I'm not the biggest authority on the classes in this game, so look for other sources if you want tutorials on, like, how to build your characters. I could, like, just explore around the shops here. I guess I could show this, because I think this is the Technic shop, and you have to buy the Technics before you can actually use them. I do like how they mark NPCs you can talk to with those happy faces. Libra, okay, that's the only thing we have access to right now. Probably should buy that later because it's very good. Is there a Gambit shop around here? We haven't been introduced to the Gambit system, but Gambits are also a very important part of this game. That is actually a feature that was disliked originally, but it's got a lot more popular in recent years. But again, I shouldn't exhaust all of my topics now, because I'll probably be playing this game for quite some time. Maybe in the background during other projects, but anyway, I want to see what they sell in terms of magic. Blinder, oh, that's remove blind, not cause blind. Fire, slow, cure. Oh, we don't have cure, okay. Yeah, probably would be best to buy that. I believe once you buy the spell once, you have it for every character who learns that license, so obviously you want to make sure you're buying magic and stuff, and I don't really think we need to spend much time in like the weapon and armor shops right now. I think we should head out to the Easter Sand. Oh, that gate doesn't work. We have to go through areas that are connected by lines on the map. The way the areas are interlinked actually reminds me of Kingdom Hearts a bit. There's also a way to the Wester Sand, which we could try and check out, but no, I think we'll just head straight to our first objective right now.
You there, let's see some papers, boy. No public passage on account of the Lord Consul's parade.
Oh, gee, that's too bad. You see, it just so happens that your provisioner for the fete tonight, he sent me to pick up a few choice morsels for the, Consul's dining pleasure. He wants them quick. I got the writ of transit right here. You see? Signed, Magello. I just hate to see the Consul upset because his food wasn't ready on time. And I sure hate to see him take it out on you.
The Lord Consul is a great man, and not one to take offense in such trifling matters.
Oh, that's the hands behind head gesture.
Move along, boy. Wouldn't do to keep the Consul waiting. Right, gates are closed after this.
Me and my sister used to call that pose the Vaan, even though I think Titus and Sora do it a lot too. It's kind of like that sort of generic anime character pose in a way. Well, yeah, looks like the city's getting locked down in preparation for the, party. I mean, on the one hand, I kind of appreciate how snarky Vaan is about stuff, but on the other hand, being that snarky towards guards who are armed is probably not a smart idea. And I think there's actually somebody around here who gives you a tutorial on chocobos. But we can't buy chocobos right now. Well, not buy, we just rent them. We ride them around for speed. There's no chocobo breeding minigame in this game. Oh, by the way, yeah, that's the only time you'll get Rex on your save portraits, so I'm going to keep that file around. Clan rank mop. I forgot about the clan ranks. Actually, I should probably check out the clan primer, too. Okay, yeah, so we keep track of our hunts here. And we get like basically a rundown of how much progress we've made on all of them. Bestiary. Oh, right, okay. So the Bestiary, this was like one of the biggest, like, hurdles for the localization because they actually tried to make these sound like real in-universe documents. Like, they really went all out on the Bestiary. There's a lot of really good information, like lore on all of the enemies in the game. I believe that is just tutorials, yeah. And the Sky Pirate's Den. So they took this out of the PS4 version at first because they thought achievements served the same purpose, but then everyone complained. So they decided to put it back in the Switch and Xbox versions, I think, and then they patched it back into the PS4 version. So in the PS2 version, that was like the game's equivalent of an achievement system. The Sky Pirate's Den, and some of them require you to do some pretty ridiculous things to get them. I'll just say right now, I'm probably not going to be maxing out the Sky Pirate's Den. Like, there are things that require you to, like, fight one of every type of enemy in the game, some of which have stupidly weird spawning conditions. There are things like beat a bonus boss with 50 million HP, and there's a lot of other crazy stuff. But hey, we're here in the desert now, so this is our first exposure to, like, actually exploring around the fields. Press minus to bring up the map. And so enemies with green health bars are non-aggressive. They won't attack you unless you attack them first. Oh, this music's great. I love this song. This game just has some amazing music. As you can see there with the wolves, though, the wolves have red health bars, so they will attack you on sight. They're a bit stronger than these cactites, too. Cactites, not cactars. Cactars, despite being iconic of Final Fantasy, they only debuted in Final Fantasy VI, I believe. Oh, hey, that one took a lot of damage. Some of these things are kind of lowish level. Hey, loot! So, like, as you can see with that chain going up, you actually do get better drop rates the more of the same type of enemy you kill in a row. Don't know if it increases your experience or not, and these are actually treasure chests. Oh boy, this game in the PS2 version pulled off some extremely brutal, trollish moves with its treasure chests. I'll talk about that when I get to a certain one that actually comes quite early in the game. Let's go ahead and fight a wolf. I remember these wolves quite well because you can do something quite funny once you learn the steal skill. These wolves look like they have kind of weirdly armored heads as well. They do look kind of blocky. I mean, this is an upscaled, also nice rubbing it in that my chain is broken, but yeah. They do have, like, this is an upscaled PS2 game, but it looks kind of nice. I was thinking earlier that the, like, the character portraits maybe, like, not portraits, but, like, the character models' faces maybe haven't aged that well. But, like, the way that their eyes and hair look kind of painted on, that's a really dramatic level up sound, I forgot about that. It actually kind of looks interesting and stylized. And I go all the way up to Wolf E now. I do want to explore around here a little bit because there's an enemy, like, as you can see, the rogue tomato is right there, so that's our target. But I want to fight a few things first because, oh, hi Wolf, you've aggroed onto me. Vaughn, as you can see right now, can't do much, so I'm going to try and kill some enemies to get some license points to unlock some more abilities so he can, you know, actually make combat a little bit more interesting. Don't worry, the battle system gets a lot more interesting later. Windstone. I forget exactly what those do. Do they cast spells, or are they just loot that you can sell? Yeah, they're just loot. Okay, so loot is very important because the more you sell to shops, the more stuff the shops unlock in their inventories. And, like, certain items require, like, specific types of things that you sell in order to unlock them for purchase, including that Nimholololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololol that, and it's kind of useful. I keep pressing the R button to lock onto enemies because I think I'm playing Xenoblade. But yeah, so there's a lot of, obviously, this predated Xenoblade, obviously, but I do feel like it is similar in a few regards in terms of its battle system. Oh, right, my wolf chain is gone now. That's fine. Grab this chest. They do some kind of interesting things with the chest a little bit later, but while I'm here, I guess I could try and check out that spot as well. The enemies here are really not strong at all as well. But something else I should mention is that from what I've read of this version, Vahn's original weapon was a sword in the PS2 version. They changed it to a dagger in this version. So yeah, Not sure why they did that, but I feel like maybe they thought, you know, he's supposed to be like a thief, so it makes sense for him to start with a dagger and not with a sword. This music's kind of iconic in this game, I find. Okay, there's another wolf down here. Oh, right, that thing right there. So yeah, that thing. That thing, I believe, is the wild saurian. Do not attack that thing. It's not aggressive for a reason. In fact, if you leave it alone, it will actually, I think the fact that that wolf's name is in yellow means it's higher level. So yeah, like, there is actually some color coding. Red name, bad idea. That thing is like, it's not like super high level, it's like level 30 or 40 or something. But it will still utterly demolish you if you try and fight it at this point in the game. Again, it is not aggressive for a very good reason. If you leave it be, it'll actually eat these wolves and recover HP and sometimes even level up, which is kind of funny. I wonder if we can see it do that at some point. But yeah, I still like that, the fact that, like, this whole even starting area has its own ecosystem. You've got this big, well, it doesn't even look really that big now, but this big T-Rex thing, which is actually classified as a dragon by this game's mythology. Although I think most people think that the original dinosaurs were the inspiration for dragons. But anyway, yeah, like, it will go around and it will actually attack and try and eat those wolves sometimes. Is it doing? Oh, I think it just did, because I think that wolf just disappeared. So, no, that wolf just went off camera. But, like, yeah, it's funny when it happens. Like, you'll see, like, a wild saurian readies and then something when it's going to attack them. That happens, I think, with quite a few enemies in this game. They'll, like, run around and they'll attack other enemies or, you know, do things like that. 1 LP. Yeah, the good news is that unlike, say, Xenoblade, that thing is not going to start aggroing onto us just because we're in fights that are close to it. Unlike a certain dinosaur enemy from Magna Forest who, whenever you're trying to fight something, oh hey, that wolf got a double hit on me. When you're trying to fight something, we'll often go, hey guys, can I be in this battle? And then just kill you. But now that I maybe don't really want to fight those wolves, I should probably avoid them a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and try and fight that thing. Like, the good news is that your basically, chain is not, like, time limited, so if you don't kill something, like, for a few seconds, oh, hi, wolf, I'm going to run away now. Yeah, if you don't kill something for a few seconds, then it's not going to break your chain or anything, so, like, as long as you just, the only way to break the chain is to kill something that isn't a wolf. And good thing I ran over here, because there's actually a chest. Potion up. Okay, it looks like potions heal quite a bit in this game. Sometimes they only heal like 50 or something. A tuft of Phoenix Down. That's another thing that's really cool about this game's localization, is that like, it's not like you got eye drops. It's a file of eye drops. It's not just a Phoenix Down. It's a tuft of Phoenix Down. Like, they put so much like, so much personality into the lore of this world and just everything. It's really cool, honestly. So, yeah, here's an outpost, and thankfully there won't be any enemies to fight us in here. There's also an armored chocobo, which I still find kind of cool. Is there a shop in here? It's kind of justification for some broken bridges there. Yes, I know where it is, but I like they have different dialogue if you haven't killed it yet. Okay, right, yeah, this is an inn, basically. I don't know why it became a thing. I guess it was in Dungeons & Dragons, and by the way, Final Fantasy takes a ton of influence from Dungeons & Dragons. The first game was basically a homebrew D&D campaign, but, and a lot of its monsters are very much based on Dungeons & Dragons, but, yeah, I don't know why, like, they started the trend of just resting to heal all of your wounds. And yep, it looks like we can't progress any further until more stuff has happened in the story. I know, some people have domesticated the wolves around here. So yeah, it's still, like, there's a lot of nice NPC interactions in this game, and in general, like, and the towns are quite nice and sort of decently big. I guess that's why people miss the towns in FF13. Well, I memean, they hated this game when it came out at first, so it's kind of, yeah, I don't know. Let's not talk about that. Oh, that's it. Yep, it's doing it. Yep, it just ate a wolf. So, yeah, it just leveled up. I mean, I don't think that's technically cannibalism because it's not eating another dinosaur, but still, yeah. I wanted to show that at least once. I'm glad I got that on camera. I always remember that. It's just kind of cool, like the way that the way that this first area just kind of works. You can just see a whole ecosystem going on here. You get these non-aggressive enemies, these aggressive enemies. Like, you can get quite a lot of items by chaining enemies, by the way. I don't know if I'm going to need to heal before I fight the tomato, but let's go. I should probably save before doing that, but okay then, let's see. Rogue Tomato, you will pay for destroying Toy Story 3's 100% crash rating. Doesn't have those crazy teeth. Oh, there are the crazy teeth. So yeah, this thing is kind of a joke. But yeah, you do have to chase it around. I think it's designed that you're supposed to go after it first, and then it forces you to explore the area a little bit. Like, that's probably how, like, they intended this. Come back here, Mr. Tomato. You're not getting away from me this time. Flame Breath. That hurts a decent amount, but it's still not, ridiculously strong. Rogue Tomato vanquished! Salad is served! We have slain the vile tomato.
Galbana lilies? Never thought I'd see him growing out here. Ugh. This'll make a nice souvenir. Time to call it a day.
I thought I was just gonna give them to Pinello. Because, yeah, Pinello's the totally not love interest character. Even though, well, you'll see. I don't want to spoil any later developments. I hope I don't casually end up spoiling anything, because, yeah, I have definitely played this game before, and I am so tempted just to fight one more wolf before we leave. Like, can I see how close we are to leveling up? LP 22. Can I get anything new out of 22 LP? I should probably save up for Libra, actually. I can get accessories 2, or light armor 3. Or first aid. First aid's really not that good. It is like the only healing we have right now, but... You know what? I think I'll actually just stay here until we get Libra. Oh, by the way, chests actually do respawn, and many of them have random items in them. And that's also the bane of a lot of people who play this game, because there are some, like, sometimes the chance of the chest even spawning to begin with is random as well. So, yeah, like, there's a certain infamous chest that, like, has a 10% chance of spawning, a 10% chance of containing an item rather than gil, and a 10% chance of that item being the best weapon in the game. So it's a 1 in 1,000 chance. There's another way to get the best weapon in the game, but it's an enormous guide, dang it. How much? You're only worth 1 LP. We can still fight some more of them and try and get Libra. Actually, where's the speed up button? Where's the speed up button in this game? Yeah, there's the speed up button. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's gonna be useful. Oh yeah, and you actually, okay. I'm still in speed up mode. How do I go out of speed up mode? Okay, I press L to exit speed up mode and this to... Alright, okay, so I press L once to enter speed up mode and that to exit speed up mode. Okay, that's good to know, because I obviously am used to the original where where there was no speed up mode, obviously. So I can do this and go into speed up mode. It's probably why this game's how long to beat is a lot less for the Zodiac version. Of course, speed up mode could be dangerous, as it could make me accidentally attack the dinosaur. I'm like, no, I have 25, good, okay, so now I can get Libra. And max HP increase, max HP. So I guess this is like the argument. Yeah, this is the argument section of the board. Yeah, just cutting out the track back here. So, yeah, Libra lets you see enemies' HP and elemental weaknesses, I think. So it's pretty useful to have. So something kind of cool that I learned about the Zodiac version is that you can play all the way up to this point if you're getting the digital version while the game is still downloading. the gate won't open until the download is finished, but you can explore around the Easter Sand as much as you want and fight things there and do everything in the story up to this point before the game is finished fully downloading, which I think is actually really cool personally.